maybe it's my fault. Maybe I led you to believe it was easy when it wasn't. Maybe I made you think my highlights started at the free throw line and not in the gym. Maybe I made you think that every shot I took was a game winner. That my game was built on flash and not fire. Maybe it's my fault that you didn't see that failure gave me strength, that my pain was my motivation. Maybe I led you to believe that basketball was a God-given gift and not something I worked for every single day of my life. Maybe I destroyed the game. Or maybe you're just making excuses.
All right, guys, so we're back here.
Second installment.
2. We're going to go with bar talk.
Thanks, Tom.
Appreciate it, because I wasn't come up with anything. But you guys just saw a pretty cool video with Michael Jordan talking about how maybe he ruined the game. And really what he was talking about, how everybody saw his greatness on the court, saw him and thought he always hit winning game shots, won championship after championship. What everybody failed to see was all the blood, sweat, and tears that went into him being the best basketball player of all time. And we're going to go in today to talk about kind of what that makeup is, what you guys can do to be great and achieve your goals. So the first thing we're going to kind of jump into a little quickly is why I want to talk about that and kind of let Heath kind of elaborate really what we see for people when they come in with goals and what they're trying to do.
Yeah, basically, you guys, just like Michael Jordan, any athlete, you know, he started somewhere. You know, he wasn't the Michael Jordan on the Bulls right out the get-go. I think he was cut from his high school team. I mean, he had a lot of adversity that he chose to overcome. So I think he set goals for himself, and I think that's what we want to talk about. You all setting goals. You know, I get most of my athletes come in and their biggest goal is, I want to do a pull-up. And I'm like, that's awesome. And that's a great goal that's right here, but how are you going to get there? You know, do you know the steps it takes to get to a pull-up?
And that's what we're going to talk about today, guys, is setting your goals and then building the steps to achieving your overall goal.
I mean, just as an example, I'll use you. I mean, you tore your pec, had to have surgery. You had to set goals to get where you're at today, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what were they?
I mean, my first goal was coming back was to be able to just get my range of motion. So within the first 2 months to 3 months, my goal was to get just range of motion back, being able to get full range, move my arm without any restrictions. You know, once I got that, then I knew I was able to start working, strengthening it. So I knew I had to work isolation exercises after that for the next 2 months. So I had, you know, a 3-month goal, a 5-month goal, and my 8th month goal was to prove everybody wrong and be back at it full go where I was before.
Was it difficult for you? Because a month beforehand you were overhead squatting and stuff, 300 pounds, and then you were stuck on a little band or piece of PVC. I mean,
yeah,
it seemed, you know, to me, I'm like people again, it seemed easy, but I think there had to be some mental.
Yeah, the biggest thing, guys, is fear, and we'll get into that next week. But you know, for me, going from, like you said, having a 300-pound overhead squat, hitting some numbers I was happy with finally, to not even be able to lift my arm, I went through every emotion in the book, from anger, frustration, to just being depressed. Anything you guys could think of, I went through it. And the other thing that helped me through it was just being around great people. But, you know, I kind of came back to everything and brought it right back to what we're talking about today.
How did you set goals? You know, what did you do?
My goal was to get back. I'm not going to lie. I still want to get back and compete competitively again. And that's how I set my goals. So here's kind of what I used and what we use with our athletes, with our Power Hour program. They're going to be giving us goals and working with that as well. So we're going to kind of just go down the basics with you guys. So you guys have all heard of the SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, results driven, and then time oriented. So like I said, my goal was, with my range of motion, was within the first 2 months to get that back. By my 5 months, I wanted to have my strength back, and by 8 months, I wanted to be back full go. So I had specific goals. Once you have those goals, guys, you can sit down with a coach, you can sit down with a life coach, a mentor, somebody who's your friend, a family member. You sit down with them. They can help you build those steps up. Let's just take it back to what the most common goal that we hear is a pull-up. So your goal could be a 6-month goal, of a pull-up. Okay, you want one strict pull-up in 6 months. How are we going to achieve that? And that's kind of where you need to break it down, because not having a specific roadmap would be like saying, I'm going on vacation. I've never been out to California. I'm going to California to Heath. Peace. I'm out.
Have
and
fun.
jump in my car and drive. A, I am terrible at directions, and B, I would get lost. So
And you drive like a grandpa. It would take you
all
like
day.
6 months to get
It
there.
would take somebody walking to get there faster. But the point is, when you go on vacations, now we have GPS. I remember growing up, my parents had a map, and that route was highlighted.
Yep.
I mean, but that's exactly what this is. This is a roadmap for you guys to be successful. So without it, you're just driving around blind. You may end up in Massachusetts, not California, because you have no idea where you're headed. So what makes you do this right?
Just real quick, because CJ brought up a good point. I think in this day of technology, and there is something with visualization, but this isn't it. You need to physically get a pen and paper and write your goals out.
Post it on your mirror in the bathroom. You guys brush your teeth every day. Put your goals on your mirror. If you're a girl, take your lipstick. If you have a wife, take her lipstick. I don't care. Write it on your mirror. See it every day. It sounds dumb, guys, but so many of you guys.
Some people might get in a fight over the lipstick on the mirror, but whatever.
Do what you gotta do so you see it daily. That's all I'm saying. Like, successful people
Write it
look
down.
at their goals every day. They tell their friends their goals. They don't keep them to themselves. Why? The accountability. It's so much easier if you fail. Nobody knew. I don't need to work hard. I don't need to come back and try to achieve it again. Bullshit. You need to work hard because people know. You've told your friends, your family, they expect you to work hard.
It's accountability.
It's what it comes
You
down
need to
to,
be
guys.
accountable not only to yourself, but to your fellow athletes, to your coaches. And so when you come to me and you say you have a goal, I'm going to say to you, all right, if you have this goal, what are you doing to achieve it? And if you're not doing what you're supposed to be to achieve it, then how do you expect to ever reach that goal?
And it takes me back to one other thing, guys, too. And we're not going to go too crazy in this. We're going to try to keep these short until we get a little further.
Too late.
Yeah. But work on one thing, guys. You cannot be working on 100 different things. You cannot be working, again, on 100 different things. Master your one thing and move on. If you guys are trying to spread yourself too thin, you're not going to achieve any of your goals. And you're going to get frustrated. You're going to get discouraged. So pick that one thing. You guys hear me say it. One thing. That's all you need. One thing a day. Focus on that one thing all day, every day, and when you get it, you move on to the next one thing.
And with the goal sheets that you now can get on the website under the members tab.
Yeah. So if you go to www.thebarcrossfit.com, click on the membership, the drop-down tab will come down. Go to resources. There's level 1 through 4 skill sheets. It has the goals on there.
You can start setting your goals, and CJ and I are always more than happy to sit down with you all to discuss, again, if it's a pull-up, can you do a hollow body? Do you have the specific, do you understand, shoulders back and down? I mean, there's and the other thing is that you have to do the work. It's not glamorous, it's not exciting, grunt work sucks. But if you aren't willing to do it.
And you guys heard it in the video, Michael Jordan said it himself. Maybe you thought it started at the foul line. Maybe you thought every shot was a game-winning shot. What he was referring to is the hours he spent in the gym. When you guys are out partying, having a good time, he was in the gym. When his friends were at homecoming, he was in the gym. He missed out on a lot of things. And that is another quote for another day, but think about success. It's a lonely path. There's a lot of time you guys will be by yourself. It's how bad do you guys want it? How bad is that goal? Is that important, or are you just saying it? And that's another reason why you need to tell somebody it, because if it really is that important, you will get there no matter what, and that accountability piece will help keep you guys going.
So going back to your goals, so you made specific goals, and then they were measurable, correct? Mm-hmm. You could measure them over the...
Yeah, my range of motion is measurable. Where is my range of motion? Do I have full range of motion? You can measure it. Okay, you have your range of motion back overhead. I knew where it was. Strength-wise, number, getting back wasn't a specific weight I needed, but it was being able to do a push-up, being able to hold myself against the wall in a handstand push-up. So I knew what I needed to be able to get back in the gym doing what I love. So you guys need to have those specific numbers. It can't just be one pull-up. So a great example, guys, of a SMART goal, let's just use the pull-up, would be I want to have one strict pull-up by January 31st, 2015. So you're setting a specific movement. It is achievable. It's time driven. and it's results oriented, which is your pull-up. So all your guys' goals should be that way, whether it's personal, business, gym oriented.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing about this is that, you know, you think of us, you know, just as coaches, but as also in business and in your life in general. I mean, you can use this pretty much anywhere to help. I mean, to just be a better person.
And I'm gonna leave you guys with one quote real quick that I think is pretty cool, and it's again another Michael Jordan quote. I just really like what he says, just because he is known as the best, and he proved it on the court, and it showed. But he was talking about his goals and how he'd set small goals to achieve his bigger goals. And think about this, guys. All those steps are like puzzle pieces. They all come together to form a picture. Not everyone is going to be the greatest, but you can still consider it a success. Step by step, I can't see any other way of accomplishing anything. So think of it, guys. Your goals are little puzzle pieces of your life. Are you guys going to take the time to put the pieces together to make that picture, or are you going to leave them scattered all over the table?
And I think my last thought is, again, because installment 3, we're going to, and are you being paralyzed by fear? Fear of the unknown, fear of success, fear of failure, you know, are those things? And we're going to, that's kind of the segue into the next one, is that we are going to talk about failure and actually its importance in your training and in life. So,
The necessity to fail.
Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed installment number 2. We will see you back next week.
Have a good one.